wasn't really anything special or specific today. I just felt like recording, to be honest. In a lot of ways, the ways in which we move throughout our lives, from things we do, things we say, and the people we are, often is interpreted by ourselves. And very, very often, when people think of us, they don't think of us as who we are as whole. They think of us as the person they know us as, which can obviously having, conflicting ideas in each and every single person's mind. And as much as I want to say I'm different for that, or I can see other people and, what they've been through, I don't know what they don't tell me. Much as you don't know what I don't tell you. Just as you don't know everything about your father, your mother, your grandmother. Maybe you know less about them than some of your friends. But so very often, it's important to hear other people's stories, to be able to visually see what they've been through and consider in your mind what they've been through. In a lot of ways, it's actually quite funny to think about the fact that not only are we just here, and not only do we have consciousness, and not only can we verbally speak to each other, but we can hear each other, we can see each other, everything. So it's unfathomable to me, at least, that we have the ability to communicate, we have the ability to understand one another, at least at a basic level. Yet, so often, we just won't do it. We will go out of our way to avoid difficult conversations. We'll go out of our way to avoid having to be nice. We'll go out of our way to be hateful. But how funny is that, right? Just to consider, you're living in a world where you get one life, you have one opportunity to truly make something of yourself or to enjoy the life you have. And what are people doing? What are people doing now? Well, if we truly consider this, it's a lot of it is scrolling. A lot of it isn't going out in the world and being able to experience what life is. Where a lot of us are experiencing life behind a screen. Something that is now deemed a reality. To sit there behind a screen and experience your life. And I know it's a cliche to say, but maybe it is those damn phones, to be honest. In a lot of ways, I think being able to have your own experiences, being able to experience life for yourself rather than through other people is very, very important. It is important also to have the perspective of other people, but still being able to have your own. Who knows? Maybe someone else's perspective will help you on your journey to change yours, if that's something you do. However, so many people I see are, I wouldn't even say trapped in that world of experiencing it through other people. It's something that they choose actively. They have, maybe a decision in their mind, should I do this or this? And they go, well, that over there is easier, so I do that. Which, for me, it's odd to think that you wouldn't want any challenge, any any potential to fail. And I've been over what I mean by fail. But to not succeed, what are you going to do if that easy thing is just a constant in your life? Are you ever going to try? Are you ever going to, have a gaze at that hard thing? Are you ever going to consider what it means to not even work hard? But what I mean is to even consider the possibilities that you could have done if you had actually gone that way. Who would you be? What kind of person do you see yourself as? When you look at that easy thing, whether that's scrolling or watching YouTube or whatever it is, right? Whatever you deem to be easy. Is it because you've done it consistently? Like speaking to a camera. Have you done it consistently enough that you can actively speak to the camera without constantly messing up, without constantly pausing, without constantly having to consider what is the next thing I'm going to say, what is it that I'm going to, yap about? And that's where those reps really come in, and that's where it can be much, much easier. Whereas those harder things, are they actually hard, or have you either not done it, not had enough reps, or have you just not considered what it would take to genuinely complete that, or to move towards it? Now, I believe that you are what you say you are. If you hope to be a good person, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are the things that, at least in your mind, make you a good person or a bad person, or whatever you want to be seen as? And I think a lot of the time, at least for me, I've noticed that as good of a person as I want to be, as good of a person as I may want others to be, it doesn't mean anything, because every single person's definition can vary. Doesn't mean it is, doesn't mean it will, but it can vary. With the experiences people have, that will determine completely and utterly what a good, what a bad, what a normal person is. And we use the term normal for humans, right? You're a normal person, aren't you? What is a normal person, realistically? What makes someone normal? Does that mean mediocre? Does that mean the average? Does that mean in this line, you have to be within this line, but who determines the lines that you have to be within to be normal? And that's the thing that I suppose I don't quite understand. And maybe I think too much about it, and maybe I consider the possibilities too much. Ultimately, though, I want to just understand what it means to be me. And I would hope you do too, to be honest. I would hope that you see yourself and you go, who can I be? What can I do? And actively try to not just improve your life. Like, seriously, not just improve your life. But I want you to think about, what does it mean to me? And how will I experience the life I have? What memories will I make? Will it matter at the end of my life? Probably not. Will I remember any of it? Probably not. But it's amazing that I have the opportunity to sit here, to speak to you, to be heard. I think that's a great, great perspective. And I say this all the time. There is the potential that my mind will change. There is the perspective that regardless of the things I say, my mind can change. Because I want to be adaptive in the things I think, the things I believe, and understanding the full broad spectrum of what it means to understand. Not just me, not just you, but the world as a whole. However, what is the point in understanding every single little minute detail of life if you don't enjoy it? Now, enjoyment is one thing. Being proud of yourself is another. At the end of the day, they're all emotions, right? Or they're all feelings. Or chemistry in your mind. But what is it all worth if you don't enjoy it? Well, what is it worth if you can't be who you want to be? I think that's a difficult question for most people is, who do I want to be? Right? It's, why does it feel like everyone else that I see is living such a better life than me? Why? Right? Ultimately, 90% of people are not living a better life than you. Typically, they're either living a worse life, they're living about the average life to you, or their experiences are different, right? And that's what it all comes down to. The experiences you have determine the life you have. The experience you have completely and utterly determine the way you see the world. And I'm very fortunate for that I can have that perspective. And I can say, well, you should just, care a little more. But I have the experience to go, I should say this because I know how bad it can be feeling negative and having these thoughts that will almost pound you into the ground over and over. So the reason I say it isn't to make you think, well, it's to make you think about what your life could be, the person you could be, the things you could do better. It's to make you think, right? But it's not to tear you down. It's not to go, I'm better than you. It's to go, look, I've been in a similar situation to you potentially. I know the negative thoughts that can at least flood through my mind. And I understand that it's not always easy to get through. But ultimately, being able to change my mindset, being able to constantly reflect and constantly try to understand myself has brought me to the person I am today. I am happy. I am, and I say happier, I'm just more understanding. I'm more present. I'm more aware of the little things around me. I could look around my room. I could look outside and I could tell you the things I see. And not just see, but when I see something, I feel something. And that's kind of an odyssey to me. Because for so long I was on autopilot. For years I was just living the life I had. I didn't truly understand what it meant to see the world. And we always get these feelings of, I'm going to say euphoria, where we look back at our younger selves and we're like, wow, I wish I felt like that again. Or wow, I really wish I could experience that again in that same way. But you won't. And the reason for that is you've already experienced it. When you think of those happy memories, when you think of those moments that, lit you up, deeply, it is often because it was the first time ever feeling that. It was the first time ever thinking that. Whatever it was, it's like, wow. The levels to this shit is insane. I mean, that's just the way I think about it, right? But I'll let you go. Regardless. It's always fun. And I always love chatting with you. So, feel free to reach out.